Hello, everybody. My name is Ming Chen. Welcome to the Shared Universe Podcast Studio. I have something really cool that we're going to introduce everybody to. Something that's taking over the pop culture world, the movie review world, the podcast world by storm. Something called the Reel Watchlist Plus. I have the hosts here. Could you guys please introduce yourselves and tell everybody?
I don't know who you are.
Well,
who's this woman sitting next to me? How'd you get here?
I just picked him up in the parking lot, but anyway, he gave me my gloves. They fell on the ground. He picked them up. So.
She tried to give me her digits, but,
there you go.
But I'm
gay.
But then again, nowadays, who cares?
I know. I'm an old cougar. I'm Debbie Higgins. I've been around for a long time. I've been a film critic for 40 years. I actually run a film festival, and I have two other festivals I work on as well, Jersey Shore Film Festival and two horror festivals in Asbury. I still write critical analysis. I do about 50 movies a month. But the main reason I'm here is for our show, The Reel Watchlist Plus, which is on YouTube. So
on the
Joe,
Bold Media Films YouTube channel. I'm Joe DeIorio. In my hobby time, I love films. I produced a international short film festival for my hometown, and I've studied film, editing, the technical part of it. And we had the fortunate opportunity to meet several years ago while Debbie entered one of her films in my short film festival, and she won.
Yes.
And that's how we got to meet. And then years later, we fast forward. Bold Media Films is putting out a call for auditions for this brand new movie review show. And just by chance, they put us together. I never expected to be with her, and she could really care less. She was like, put me with anybody.
That's not true. But the thing that we love is that we do classic movie reviews. And what we mean by classics is things that have shown the test of time, things that are older. Usually they're more than 25 years old, although sometimes there can be an instant classic, but it's got to be agreeable to everybody. But we love bringing the classics, and we want to reach a new audience because with streaming, people really don't get to see things. When Netflix had its DVDs, you could order them. But now with streaming, you look up a film and sometimes it's not there, even though we have a million different sites.
And our review show is different from anyone else. It's like the Siskel and Ebert smashing Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Right.
And you got fun, you got like trivia. We put on costumes to theme it with the show that we're reviewing, the movie that we're reviewing, and we have a lot of fun.
Right. And I wanted to show, do you want to show how we rate them in the beginning? We have paddles, and we're not going to show you, but we write a score on them. Mm-hmm. We hold them, we flip them, and usually we have fights because I feel very strongly about things, and I guess I'm of the age, and I've been doing it for so long that I just don't care. And
she doesn't. She says what's on her mind.
I do. And you're starting to get like that.
I'm starting to get like you. Like, she is the master, I am the student. I feel like I'm going to the Debbie Higgins master class every time we do an episode.
Thank you for the compliment.
We do deep dives. We really research the intricacies of the movie, but we also make it fun. Part of the show includes Debbie's watch list. So when you're watching one of our shows and you're thinking, wow, that's a great movie, Debbie's going to introduce you to a bunch of new movies that you can consider.
Yeah. Well, we're doing political films right now on our show, and every month we change. We have 4 of a genre. We are, very interestingly enough, and I'm thrilled to do it, is sexy kind of band movies in the future. And there's a re-release of a film in Caligula, which is all over now, the unlimited cut. Mm-hmm. But
and looking for Mr. Goodbar too.
Looking for Mr. Goodbar.
And there's a new release on that one too. I don't know if you know that.
Exactly. So these are coming to the forefront. But we are going to bring them really to the forefront. And most of these films I've seen at theaters.
Well, maybe I saw them on HBO. You're a little bit older than me.
I know.
Just a tad bit.
I know, just a smidge.
And in each episode, besides Debbie's watch list, I'll pair the movie with a classic cinema sip. So I'll introduce our viewers to a sometimes brand new, sometimes an old version of a classic cocktail that you could sip while you're watching your classic movie.
Right. And they do have lots of alcohol. So sometimes, because I'm a champagne drinker, he'll make something that has like 4 shots of booze in it. And I can barely, I don't do it to fool around, but I stick my tongue in it because sometimes
she
I can't
does.
eat
And you can see her reaction as she's tasting the bourbon or the rye or the scotch or whatever I mix for that particular episode. And it's pretty amazing. Her facial expressions just are, you don't see them anywhere else.
That would be
YouTube.
my idea of waterboarding, laying down and having somebody pouring shots of scotch into my mouth. I'd freak out,
And sometimes we do get a little tipsy, so we do have fun while doing classics.
They said they like me better when I review when I'm drunk. So, this is my new
She loosens
When I
up.
get older, I'll just become a
Should have
drunk.
brought a drink
Yeah, well,
to loosen you up a little bit.
So let's talk about...
Wait, Ming has some drinks. You got drinks here?
We have a full bar here, my friends. Yes, everything you can imagine we have here.
Little tipsy.
Old school. Do this one. Okay. So let's talk about, we have a lot of videos. We've done a lot. We've been on, our your anniversary is coming up.
Yes, we finished season 1 of the Reel Watchlist Plus. And during that time, we had some favorites.
Right. So what's your favorite, Joe?
What's my favorite? Actually, the favorite movie that I loved doing was It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. A classic comedy that you probably will never, ever, ever see again. It culminated like dozens of comedians during that time period into one big grand movie. But the one thing I loved about doing with this movie was dressing up as Ethel Merman. Now, if you don't know who Ethel Merman is, folks, you're not a Gen X, you're not a boomer, but learn about Ethel Merman. She was a great theater actress and also a movie actress. And my costume was the best that day.
She could belt out God Bless America like nobody's business.
She could.
Yes, she could. She was the quintessential God Bless America.
And what was your favorite?
Well, I'm really a stickler about classic films.
You are.
And I really love them. So we were given by our producers The Revenant, the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. And I didn't consider it a classic, nor did I really like the movie. So we decided to kind of hoodwink them. And we were risking retribution, but it actually worked out pretty well.
Pretty damn well.
So we started in the beginning like a school marm with a stick where I beat my student, the old days, not now, we don't beat students. And I was like an old school marm.
You were Miss Crabtree.
I was Miss Crabtree.
Little Rascals. Remember Little Ming, do you remember Little Rascals?
I do. Our gang.
Our gang.
Our gang.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's put on a show, right? Like you guys are. Let's put on a show.
Exactly. So she was Miss Crabtree and I was?
Alfalfa.
I was Alfalfa.
And even had a beanie copter on. If people remember the beanie copter with the little hat that twirled around up top, little helicopter. So we went through, there's like 20 elements to make a film a classic, but I picked the top 5 and I quizzed Joe on it. And when he was wrong, I hit him with the stick.
I got hit with a stick.
And when he was right, he got a prize.
Yes.
And after about 7 minutes of that stuff, we decided to turn into our own film critics and tell everyone what were the redeeming things about The Revenant.
Not many.
Not many, but I mean, we have to say
2012 wasn't a
feature
classic.
film, it, has a redeeming factor.
But we love our producers, so we did what they asked us to do, and we did it in our own flair and our own way.
We tore it into ribbons. But it's a good show to watch, and you can go on YouTube and you can look back. And our channel on Bold Media is listed under short videos. So if you go under shorts, you'll see our shows because they're just about a half hour long. And I might be biased, but I think they're very entertaining.
They're very entertaining. There's something different, edgy, and nostalgic at the same time. So you want something that will bring back good memories. But for those that are out there that are trying to get into film and learn about cinema, this is like a Cliff version, if they do Cliff Notes anymore, Cliff Notes version of these films, and you'll learn a little bit about it. And as a person, a student of filmmaking, you got to learn your classics. When you go up to film production on set and someone says, "Oh, I want a camera shot that looks like, a Hitchcock movie," and you don't know who Alfred Hitchcock is, forget it. You're not getting the job.
Right.
If you're an actor or an actress, aspiring one, know who, Cary Grant is, know who some of the famous actors are.
People don't. When you talk to anybody, usually under 40, they don't know. And it's only because we've become this mass media that's got to be on and get so much content that we don't have the unforgettable faces like Humphrey Bogart, Gloria Swanson, things like that, films that go through generations. And I always say, when I teach a class for young people, if they don't know the film or want to know about it, give them 10 minutes on a classic feature film and the sets falling apart, and they will love it. And I also want to say, because costumes, but you can't see it with the mic, I have a person watching a screen. Look at my little button, if they could zoom in.
So what does that represent, Deb?
It's almost like Caligula zooming in on my boob. Anyway.
Almost looks like Poltergeist.
It is a Poltergeist pen. So anyway, so
what was your favorite scene, Deb? Let's tell folks, if you're out there, not in Poltergeist, our episodes. We're here to promote our episodes.
Okay, our favorite scene.
If it's something that, I know my favorite scene. We did an episode on The Wizard of Oz. Now, everyone's talking about Wicked, but if you've never seen, or even if you've seen the classic Wizard of Oz, we talk about stuff that you probably never heard of. It's probably the stuff mostly about like the Munchkins. We did a whole segment on the history of the Munchkins and how they got a little bit rowdy while they were offset and some of the ongoings. There's a great scene where I throw the ruby red slipper. I am mean. I am the Wicked Witch, all dressed up in green. And the first take, I threw it at her, and I can't throw. I'm not a sports person. I will admit it. My aim is horrible. We come to find out later that scene, that filming part didn't come out too well, so we had to redo it. I'm like, I got to redo it. Here we go again. So when I threw it this time, it went smack.
Yeah, it's good it didn't break my glasses, and they were soft bedroom slippers. And so that's it. So that was your favorite scene.
What about yours?
My abusiveness is his favorite scene, but I know he loves me, so
yes,
he didn't mean to do it.
Yes.
Because if I'm blind, I certainly cannot watch classic films and review them with them. My favorite scene was we did Tom Jones, and I'm sure
not the singer.
Younger people don't know the classic Tom Jones with Albert Finney. And back in the day, when they hadn't changed the ratings or people were not so used to Pornhub and all this horrible stuff and, that's out there, I'm sure people do love Pornhub. I'm not putting it down, but whatever. They had an eating scene where it was very sensual. And it was representative of that whole pre-sex stuff. So Joe and I did it.
We recreated
got away with it.
Yep.
We had the eating scene, but instead of what they were eating, we were eating like old chicken, Cheez-Its, a peach.
It was
because what we could find in the refrigerator.
But it was funny as hell.
Before we went on the set. And of course they were all older and the peach is going down.
And we'll push the envelope. Like I wanted to pull out a banana and eat a banana, but the producer stopped me.
Yeah, well, there's certain things you can't do. Which is interesting because on YouTube we didn't know until we got on it. There's words you can't say. It's like the George Carlin thing. These are the words you can't say. But, and words that were politically not a big deal. I called Joe a name once, and I've been calling people like that, and they've been calling me that. But he went like, I said, I don't really mean what I'm calling you. It wasn't that bad. But now I guess we're allowed to call people that.
Yeah, I guess.
It's all changed. It was like that crazy sensitive time.
But I will tell you, though, one thing that I love about doing for the Reel Watchlist Plus is learning. Because you're learning, I'm learning. I mean, you've done this for 40 years. You've movie reviewed.
Great.
But we're constantly learning more. Like my favorite episode to deep dive was The Night of the Living Dead. Yeah. I don't know if people realize how that movie could have been nothing. We could have not been ever talking about it. And because of I'll call it a ragtag group of filmmakers, actors, friends getting together, creating a film in black and white, created a whole cult following just because their willingness to put something together and just coming out with something that when you watch it, like to me, I was just incredibly amazed. But you learn things like the filmmakers began their career filming for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like
really interesting things. And for me, it was what we call, there's a million variations, but the Bela Lugosi Dracula, I have to say, because I actually had seen the film probably easily 50 times, maybe more, because I watch it every Halloween. It's just like one of those ones. But after researching it, and I also an interesting thing. My father was a stand-in for a silent film actor, and I got to talk to Bela Lugosi's son at one of the conventions. But I felt like I knew Bela Lugosi. I got so into the research. He was such an interesting person and then such a tragic person at the end. I just feel an affinity towards him now. So that's what that did for me. I think that was my favorite.
And with the whole, not only horror, but the vampire cult following, if you don't know who Bela Lugosi is, you really don't know that genre of films. Wow. Not only did he set standard of the presence of Dracula, but he was just an amazing actor and a struggling actor. A great example of an actor who wanted to basically do anything to get his name out there. And he felt so strongly to play the role of Dracula in that film, he took a pay cut just to make sure that he got the part. And he only played
it twice. And if you don't know Bela Lugosi and you don't see Dracula, it's on every Halloween on Turner Classic Movies. But I know a lot of cable channels are taking Turner off and making people pay now, which is awful. You can watch Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein the Wolfman because that is hysterical. It's on every year. It is probably one of the best comedies that ever was. And Bela Lugosi plays his second turn at Dracula.
And talking about vampires, Nosferatu, the new movie came out.
Ugh.
We did a quick review of that movie.
Ugh. Anyway, so we did a couple timely pictures that came out. Winnie the Pooh we did, the second in the series.
Can we touch on Nosferatu for a second, though? Because that was our highest rated, highest reviewed episode. 24,000 viewers watched that episode.
Amazing.
The classic, not the new movie, the classic.
1922,
And if you haven't seen the silent classic movie, Nosferatu, and know anything about it, you really need to. It not only set the stage for future vampire movies, Dracula movies, but it's a silent movie. And you're thinking, it's a silent movie, black and white, before talkies? I'm like, but when you get into it, you realize you feel the movie more, the emotion, the fear, the cinematic, just the whole emotions behind it, more so than the new film. And the new film, they were talking, they had music behind it. It's just amazing how.
Well, see, I'm loving this, Joe, because I know that you liked films, but I don't know that you loved classic. And now when you see movies that come out, and don't get me wrong, there's a couple out that are unbelievable, and I gotta do a shout out to Ripley on Netflix. I haven't seen anything like it.
What is it?
Ripley on Netflix. I haven't seen anything like it in 10 years. Fantastic. But out of every 100 movies, you maybe get 10 of quality now. Whereas back when the studio was alive, the studio systems, and their studios are still out there, but they mostly buy films rather than making them, even though they do make them still. The head of the studios were taskmasters, and they knew what they were doing. And especially you couldn't waste things on 35 millimeter film.
Right.
Now digital is a whole lot easier and a lot cheaper. But 35 millimeter things look better, and I think they were better. I'm old school. I'm going to go to the grave talking about 35 millimeter films.
And so it's not just about our show, the Reel Watchlist Plus on the Bold Media Films YouTube channel, but it's also about outreach. So we started a tour in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So Debbie ends every episode with,
we never know where we're going until we go there.
And now we have the We Don't Know Where We're Going tour, New Jersey.
Right.
And we're reaching out to small cinemas, public appearances. We're talking to people about classics. We're doing, we recently were at Cranford Theater, a wonderful small theater. Want to touch on that?
Yeah, we did Cinema Paradiso, which does have subtitles, but the people that come to things like that are cinephiles who want to know more about the film. And so we moderated it. We gave prizes after. It's a beautiful little theater, boutique theater, which we hope will come back someday because these big, beautiful theaters are all being desecrated and condemned, AKA the Paramount and Asbury. It's scaring me to death that that'll be gone. But the little theaters do well, and as long as their programming gets people involved, it's going to grow. It's a movement that's growing. And what we want to do more than even just moderate it is have a time where people can talk back and forth, because the people that are there, They know a lot about cinema too. I mean, we have a couple of people that talk to us and they say stuff like, wow, they really know their stuff.
Right. And we do trivia. We engage the audience. So if you're out there anywhere, we're willing to go there. So not only do we provide interesting trivia and we engage the audience, but we love what we do. And we hope it shows to the audience. And we're trying to find our community. So classic movie lovers or wannabe classic movie lovers, if you're out there, reach out to us. We have our own website that you could go to, the Reel Watchlist Plus.com. So www.thereelwatchlist plus, Reel spelled REEL, Watchlist PLUS.com.
And a plus sign. It's not PLUS. It's a plus sign.
Deb's not technologically advanced, so we can't put a plus next to the com. So we convert the plus
true. He's
to
the
the words
techie.
plus.
I'm the old mouth. That's why I am.
She's the knowledge. I'm the tech person.
I'm not the knowledge. Hey, with film, you know what? You never have enough knowledge. It goes on forever. You learn everything. There's always somebody that knows more than you, and there's always people to learn by. So it's a wonderful thing.
And I love when we did Cinema Paradiso because for each audience member, before they entered the theater, we gave them a little tissue packet. Because if you haven't seen Cinema Paradiso, 90% of you are going to sob or cry by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And we give them cards.
Yeah. And we also did Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, yes,
so
Shawshank.
Now we have an affiliation with Cranford and they want us to come more. So they're going to do older classic movie programming. And then somebody came up to us. We were at a premiere for Presence the other day, the Lucy Liu movie. And the mayor of Dunellen came up and he said, hey, this is great. We've got an old theater. How would you guys like to do this at our place? And so yeah, I'm thinking, it's all North Jersey, led by the shore. He's lucky. I'm like driving.
I'm North Jersey. I'm Union County.
Yeah, and I got the mobility
She's
vehicle, a
Monmouth.
little green Kia with a stick shift. That's what we go on our tour with. We have signs on the side of the car.
And for every theater that we do these kind of interactions, these engagements, these moderating events, we hand out these postcards. And they're actually kind of interesting because we do Debbie's watch list. We theme the movie to a general theme, like with Cinema Paradiso. It was the grit and glory of Hollywood. So Debbie gave 5 of her top recommended films in that same theme, different movies, but the same theme.
Yeah.
And my pairing for those movies. So you can actually have a drink, check out any of these movies, and it's something to take home where you can say, you know what?
It's like a recipe card. Yeah. You can put it in and go, let's watch this tonight.
Does
and
anyone use recipe
let's
cards?
have these drinks. So if you have a very boring person and you don't know how to throw a party, you can use one of our cards and you can figure it out. I'm having a really good time picking the watch list for the dirty films, the sexy films.
Ooh, I can't wait for those.
Oh, yes. I've already done them and I really, yes.
Yeah, because the 4 that we're doing, and you should check them out, the Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Cruisin', Caligula, and Last Tango.
Yeah. Caligula.
That's the other thing. I can never pronounce things correctly on the show.
Caligula.
He corrects me.
And also right now we're doing...
And Last Tango in Paris.
Yes, Last Tango. And right now we're doing political films because, of course, there was an elections. But it's a cross-section. It's not like heavy-duty killer. Matter of fact, 2 of our political films we're doing are The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken, and another one is Independence Day, which we have a big fight over. Big fight.
We fight sometimes. Yes. Like Independence Day, we went at it because Debbie rated it higher than I would have rated it. And she called it a classic. And I said, what are you kidding me?
I'll take them down.
And she didn't
I take them
down. Watch the episode, find out. But we also had a major blowout. I guess it's the biggest blowout of the season. Now, I got to qualify my statement by saying that we're friends. We will stay friends. We love each other. So when you see this, it's real. But then we go have a drink afterwards.
Yes.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Disney classic.
Yes.
Old Yeller.
Yes. And by the way, if you have Disney Channel or Hulu, you can find the classics there. They have a whole row where you scroll down. It says Classic Disney.
And our fight was over our scores because she rated, I can't remember, like a 10 or something insanely high, which I loved Old Yeller. Ming, did you ever see Old Yeller?
I have. I won't spoil it, but sad ending. Ending.
Yes.
They say it's one of the saddest endings that ever was in film.
For sure.
In Disneyland.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Well, anything
and it traumatized. I watched it. I remember seeing it as a grade school boy and feeling traumatized because
Well, it
if
said
you
that
don't remember anything about the movie, you remember the ending, and it's like,
the day after it was on The World of Color, kids called in sick to school.
yeah.
And I think they were exonerated.
And they didn't have counseling afterwards. They didn't like pull the kids back in. Like some schools actually showed it in the school. And the kids went home traumatized. The next day they had to go learn their alphabet again. So
exactly.
Different times, folks. But yeah, I gave it a ding because I didn't like the ending. Not because of what happened at the ending, how it was resolved. It was too clean cut. Watch the episode, but you'll see.
He doesn't.
And she tore me an a-hole.
I called him a name
That it's kind of PC. I don't know if you have a bleeper, but she called me a bad name, and I said,
not a horrible name. They're going to think I'm like ill-bred.
You are.
I am not.
And she said, go F yourself.
No, I said not.
That.
I called
said
you
that.
a
I said, I'm sorry.
He
I said
told
that.
me to F myself. I called him
But that was bleeped.
retard.
Anyway. I should say that.
I know.
Okay.
But anyway, one thing
That was our
about it that
fight.
we found out, when we got to be friends, we are huge James Bond fans.
Oh, we love James Bond.
And especially since they're talking about who they're going to pick for the new James Bond. And now I just heard every week it changes. So when I say something, it always changes. But now I hear it's Henry Cavill. They are going to pick him.
Are they?
Well, that's what it said this week. But then again, you never know what's fake news or real news anymore.
Excuse me. I have to interrupt. Ming, can you take a picture of my husband who's sitting there sleeping?
And then
We promise you won't be sleeping when you hear
sounds
our
asleep.
episode.
He's
My
sound
husband is
asleep, but
sleeping.
he's so bored with us.
And he's reading the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. That woke him up. See, now he's awake. Thank you, honey. You're so supportive. He's a great actor if you ever need someone to act. And singer. Oh, my God. He was in Miss Saigon on Broadway. The first one, not the reboot. Yeah, and he sung all around the world.
Yes, and he puts up with us, which is a big thing.
Back to Bond. I need to know your favorite Bond movie.
Okay, our favorite Bond movie. You go first,
or
Joe.
favorite Bond movie, favorite Bond.
Okay.
So you and I agree on the favorite movie. Are you ready? On the count of three, we'll sing it.
Well,
1, 2, 3.
Goldfinger, he's the man with the Midas touch.
Our favorite.
Spider's touch. But secondly is You Only Live Twice. I've loved it, and I love that song as well. And my favorite Bond is Sean Connery. Sorry.
I love Daniel Craig. I like Sean Connery is the Bond.
Who do you like?
I'm a Roger Moore fan, but only
my God!
Yeah, that
Too
was my
silly.
Bond.
He's
I know.
silly.
He's too old.
It's when you were raised what you like.
He's the 80-year-old Bond, but yes.
So,
but I'm an 80s kid.
Yes.
Octopussy.
Yeah, that's
View to
why
a
you
Kill.
like
Live and Let Die.
and that's why you like The Princess Bride too, probably, right?
Oh, of course.
See,
Yes.
I love The Princess Bride too.
But it's when you were born.
What's that?
It's when you were born.
George Lazenby?
Closer to the bottom
they
of
were
the list.
all okay. But, who can beat Sean Connery?
So I will say,
come
though,
on.
I grew up with Roger Moore. So I can completely understand.
Uh-huh.
And he was my favorite for many years. And I thought Sean Connery, like, ugh. But then as I grew older and came out, I'm like, oh, Sean Connery's hot and Daniel Craig's hot. But Daniel Craig, you'll always be my favorite Bond.
Yeah, I admit Daniel Craig's good because he's not conventionally handsome. It's kind of like how Steve McQueen was. Steve McQueen was not really tall, but he was so damn tough. Everybody was scared of him. It's just that aura, that presence that Daniel Craig had. He was an ass-kicking Bond.
So Ming, who do you think is going to be the next Bond? Any bets?
It's a great question. I would love to see them go with a more unknown, but we'll see.
Well, that's what happened with Daniel Craig.
We'll see.
Well, they were going to pick Aaron Taylor Johnson, but he's too busy jerking around, not signing. And then when we saw him in Nosferatu, he's not that tall.
Yeah.
And we're like, Bond's got to be at least 6'2".
Yeah, well, Daniel Craig wasn't
short.
short.
That's
He was
right.
short too.
Right.
Short too.
But Henry Cavill will look good. He's got the chiseled jaw. He's like, Oh, by the way, I just saw a really documentary, Superman, the story of Christopher Reeve on, I think it was Amazon Prime, but I'm not sure, but it's really sad. And God, what happened to him? But made me think of him because he was Superman.
Well, it's a super fight between, between Amazon Prime
and the Broccoli
family, who wrote, not
well,
wrote,
they
but produced.
control Bond.
Yeah.
They have the copyright on Bond.
And we're at a stalemate right now because
I'm with the Broccoli family against Amazon. And of course, we just heard, but of course, Netflix is coming in this area, which will be like 1 million people. But Amazon Prime is also building a studio in Jersey, and so is Lionsgate. So the thing is that we're number 2 as far as points and as far as, funding the films. And Georgia's number 1. New Jersey will be probably number 1 because I think people are like leaving LA like fleas at this point, and it's too expensive to do things there. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be the thing about New Jersey. It has a location everywhere, so you can go to Jersey City, you can go down the shore, you can go on a ski thing. All over the place. We have locations everywhere.
Yeah, and that's part of our we don't know where we're going tour, because what we want to do is go to different locations of classic movies where they were held and where they were filmed, and to people that are out there that might have a favorite location, send us there. We'll go there, do our thing, and report back on our video channel.
So, what drives you crazy about the movie business now?
Oh, about movie business?
He says that, but I know that's not true. He's just saying it. I don't drive him crazy.
What drives me crazy about the movie business? I think they're just like cranking out stuff. It's not about quality anymore. I'm not seeing quality, or anyone that wants to produce a quality film, something that's maybe deep or something that's maybe new and exciting. I think, while CGI is great, it's great for superhero movies. I'm a comic fan. I'm a comic geek. So that's where it works the best. But now you just taken that and now expanded it to everything. CGI is now evolving into AI, artificial intelligence, where you're able to create scripts and movies, and you're losing that insight of that independent filmmaker, that script writer, that screenwriter, that filmmaker. And I think that's the wrong way to go. And anyone who has a great idea is not getting the funding to put something on the big screen. What do you think?
Well, I just don't like the way it's like fractured fairy tales. There's just too much out there. After COVID, Netflix had like blown its wad, as you say. They were buying content from Germany and Denmark and all these different places just to get content. There's in such competition that and what drives me nuts are the Oscars. The Oscars drive me absolutely nuts because...
And the Oscars are coming up.
It's like, the prom. Who's popular? Who isn't? What studio pushes?
Hasn't it always been like that?
No, I don't think so. And I can think of things that deserved Oscars that never did, like Private Ryan against Shakespeare in Love, or Glory, not even nominated for Best Picture and only got the Denzel Award, and Driving Miss Daisy won, and Edward Norton, American History X, probably best performance. Things like that drive me absolutely crazy. And Parasite winning 2 awards. Now, a lot of people fight with me about this, but if it's in Best Foreign, keep it in Best Foreign. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think, was one of Tarantino's best movies he ever did. So anyway, that's what drives me crazy. And because people that don't know about film watch it, and they go like, this won 12 awards. I have to go see it. It adds to the money. And it's the studios pushing. And they drop off things or stream to people. And half the time, the people in the Academy don't even watch it. They'll give it to their maid and go like, what'd you think? And let her watch it. So I don't think the excellence is in films the way it used to be. And that's what bothers me. So when I do see something that's excellent, you gotta scream from the rafters.
You mentioned Ripley.
Ripley
before.
was probably the best thing I've seen in 10 years.
A take on the talented Mr. Ripley.
Yes, it is. Black and white. I think it's 8 episodes, but boy, I'll tell you, if you really want to learn about great filmmaking, you watch that.
I have to watch it.
It's
because
really
I've read mixed
enjoyable.
reviews on it. I actually read a review that said it was too long. It was black and white. They didn't have to use black and white.
Most people don't know anything about movies. They're crazy. So anyway,
what about memories? I mean, I go back to film influencing people's lives and bringing back nostalgia. I know, like whenever I see Moonstruck, I know now my husband will wake up. It was the first movie we saw together in Central Park. We went to movies in the park, outdoor. We made a little picnic basket, a little Italian food, and she's covering his face with his book now.
Are fluttering.
And every time
you're reading that book and showing you the title right now. Please stop.
And every time, I see that movie, that's one of my happy movies. It brings back great memories, and it's not only a great film, but it just makes me relive those moments.
This is crazy because I remember seeing some certain films in theaters that I could not sit through, and I walked out on because I was so freaked out when I was younger. One of them was Last House on the Left, the original. Another one was Taxi Driver. And also, Apocalypse Now was a heavy duty one. Deliverance, Squeal Like a Pig. Oh my God. Now I watch stuff like that. Like I just did Terrifier, even though it's older. Now we're into Terrifier 4 or whatever. And I just watch them like there's nothing. You get so jaded because everything looks like a video game. Nothing looks real. That's why I think there's a lot of violence in America, because it's like almost like a video game. And as far as CGI, when you see Troy, which had Brad Pitt in it, and Peter O'Toole, that's Industrial Light and Magic. They had great CGI, but CGI's gotten corrupted over the years, and it's not as good as it was. So instead of 20 lions out on the veldt, they have 50. It becomes unreal what they're doing.
I mean, what was your favorite film? A film that brings back, every time you see it, it brings back a memory.
Back to the Future.
Really?
Oh.
Okay. I love that.
Did you go see the show on Broadway? It's
Not
on
yet.
Broadway.
Not yet. I better catch it quick. It's leaving soon. But, good memories.
And why?
Me and my dad and my brother going to the theater, South Bend, Indiana, and I just remember, how's he going to get out of this one? How's he going to get back home?
That's so good. That's cool.
It's almost
and
the perfect
it's a good
movie.
film. It's a
great
good film.
Great film.
Yeah.
Anyone watching, if you have a good memory of a film, post it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your fond memories.
Do you have your two favorites if you had to pick two? Or just
two
one?
favorite films?
One. If you were on a desert island, you had to watch it 100 times.
100 times?
1,000.
Okay.
Like Castaway, if you were like Tom Hanks and you were there.
Moonstruck is definitely one. But I will tell you, there's two... maybe three. And they're kind of the same disco drama genre. I made up a new word.
We do that all the time.
Saturday Night Fever.
Great film.
I remember trying to sneak into the movie theater to go see it. And then, of course, they went from the rated R version to PG version. But then I have two goofball ones. Can't Stop the Music. Can't Stop the Music. Bilge People. Okay. Come on. Why is he lipping to me?
That I don't know, but that's okay. You can have your guilty pleasure.
That's my happy movie. I feel happy when I watch it. And
very happy.
Thank God It's Friday with Donna Summer. One of my happy movies.
I love Donna Summer.
I just love watching that movie.
All right.
And what about you?
Well, pre-1960s Ben-Hur. It's an unbelievable film. And then the after that is Jaws. It's a perfect film. I love it. I can watch Jaws 1,000 times. But the two movies that made me want to be a critic and really think about it were Raging Bull and Dressed to Kill.
Angie Dickinson, my favorite.
And it's just a really good movie. Dressed to Kill is dated now, but Raging Bull is not. But I had my favorite directors, and I just felt that I had David Denby and Pauline Kael and Jeffrey Lyons were my favorite critics, and I would see a movie and I wouldn't read them, and then I would think about it and I would read them, and I say, you know what? I can write this. I can do this. So I back in 1985, approached the little coaster newspaper and said, "Can I write movie reviews?" They said, "Write us too, and let's see how you do." And that's how I started.
And it's history ever since.
Yeah. I've worked for a lot of different companies.
I mean, if you were stuck on an island like Debbie's example,
okay,
what would those movies?
How many do I get?
You could give 3.
Yeah, I get 3.
Top 3. I know how many, right?
Let's go Empire Strikes Back for sure.
Okay.
Oh.
3 is tough. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Give me hope that maybe I'll get off that island.
Okay.
Number 3 is a tough one. I'll probably go, do I go Ghostbusters? Do I go Aliens? Go sci-fi. I'm a fan of the original Highlander movie as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Let's go with Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with Ghostbusters.
Ivan Reitman, good.
I love that one.
All right. There
So if you had to recommend a movie for us to review, a classic.
Oh, a classic.
It's got to be over 25.
Well, everything's over 25 nowadays.
I'm going with Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas. Have you guys done that one yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
no.
let's put that one on the list.
I have to put that in my theme group.
Darren Davison, Bill Waltz, add that to our bold media.
That'll
list.
be gangster movies.
We could actually, and if you're okay with that, we're going to say Ming Chen recommended we review this.
I'd be honored. I'd be honored.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, you know what I wish would come back? Drive-ins. I mean, property is way too expensive in New Jersey anymore, but there are drive-ins in New York. There's one drive-in left in New Jersey. I think it's in Little Egg Harbor, right?
It's in Vineland, New Jersey. It's called the Delsey Drive-In.
Right, way down South Jersey. And I know New York has a bunch of them. And it's so sad because it's such a wonderful thing. You know how they have pop-up restaurants? I wish they just did pop-ups.
Cranford did one during during COVID.
In a field. Just put a screen up and it's like movies on the beach, except on the beach the weather and everything can be like horrendous.
Right.
You know?
In Cranford during the COVID pandemic, they couldn't have any films indoors, so they actually had it outdoors. Yeah. It's genius. I mean, and
everybody shows up. It's fantastic.
So, what movies did you see at a movie theater? Oh, maybe drive-in movie.
Oh, tons of them. The last one I saw at the Shore Drive-In, which was on the Collingwood Circle, was the Omega Man.
What about you?
And I saw Night of the Living Dead.
I actually go a lot, so probably a current movie. My favorite
down there?
Favorite one is in Baltimore, Maryland, called the Benji's Drive-In.
See, because he's a world traveler.
Yes. And what movies that you sort of like?
I believe it was Godzilla versus Kong, actually. So it's a fairly recent movie and the perfect drive-in movie, monster movie. Yeah, monsters beating each other. It was great.
They still have corn dogs out in the
corn dogs, pizza, everything. They have
the corn dog thing.
Fully stocked snack bar there. It's great.
Love it.
There was a drive-in movie in Union Kenilworth. Yeah. It's now condos on Route 22. The last movie that they showed there that I saw was Cujo. It was so bad.
I just felt bad for Cujo.
I know, poor Cujo.
Well, I felt bad. I love animals. The people can be dispensable, but the animals can't be. That's the way I feel.
I think we need to do a road trip
to a drive-in.
Drive-in movie theater.
We'll go down to Vineland. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Although Baltimore sounds pretty fun.
It's one of the best ones.
Really?
I guarantee it, yeah.
Why is that?
It's the biggest screen on the East Coast, and the guy who runs it is he's an old school guy. He runs it, he's the way he runs it is great.
He knows how to do it.
He's taking the tickets, taking the money at the front.
He is, and his dad used to design and build them back in the 50s. So
wow,
he comes from a family of drive-in movie theater owner, operator, designers.
Ming, did you ever see the thing where they're in the swimming pool and everybody's in a tube and they're watching Jaws? Did you ever see that thing?
I think they do it in Martha's Vineyard sometimes.
Yes!
They do it on the beach. Yeah,
I love that. I love it. There's a drive-in in Saratoga, New York called the Malta, which is really cool, which is crazy because it's one screen and two big fields, and they show this screen has one movie and the other screen has a different movie. It's like brilliant.
Yeah, smart.
I know, and it's all neon. I love neon, so...
So what do you think about the history of, not only the history of film, but where's film going now? I mean, do you like how the film industry is going? Do you not like it? Do you care?
I miss going to the theater. Now, I know life is geared where people don't have to leave the house anymore.
Yeah.
But I just go every weekend and just life. I can't go every weekend.
Right.
And and new movies they're out streaming 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I miss the magic of going to the theater.
Yeah, there's a huge discussion about that.
I miss where they kept running and you could come in halfway through. You're probably too young, you guys, but you could come in halfway through, sit down, and then it would start again. It would just keep running on a loop and you could just sit there all day.
Well, we used to movie hop. The multiplexes, you could back. They kind of figured out people were doing that.
Yeah.
But you start at the beginning of your day and hop in to the different movie theaters and the multiplexes. But I agree, there's a huge discussion that people are losing the experience of going into a theater, not only the camaraderie, the fact that everyone's laughing together.
The collective experience,
And it's just, we were losing out on that.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
How come you don't like superhero movies, Debbie?
I don't review them. You know why? Well, because
Come on, Ming, chime in.
When I was a kid, I had Monsters of Filmland. I was a horror. I'm the horror czar. And I always loved horror. And I never really... first thing I had with Batman was Adam West, and then Superman was George Reeves. Up in the air, that's a bird, it's a plane, So I don't know enough about them, because if I had to review one, I would be attacked because I just don't know. Everybody knows, like I said to my son the other day, I saw a trailer for Captain America, he's different. Isn't Chris whatever Evans?
Chris Evans.
And my son goes, "Wait, you don't know anything about movies." And
She doesn't know anything about Falcon.
I don't. I don't care. I have too many to look at as it is, you know. But
Captain America dies. Well, actually goes back.
Oh God, here we go with this stuff.
Because he wants to live out his
We're
life.
not
Steve
gonna
Rogers
do it
wants to
on
live his life.
If we do it on Reel Watchlist Plus, we're going to have a score of
A
Now,
million.
I actually can look at it artistically. I won't know the origins of it. I did love Joker. I love that movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I love that. That was fantastic. I watched it 2 days in a row. Really enjoyed it. But I don't know. I'm not going to review them. Sorry.
Can you offer her a recommendation?
I don't do
A
modern,
movie to review
I
that?
don't
Says,
do
you know, you
modern
gotta review it.
Disney either. Well, I had Iron Man. I had to do that. I
him
had to do
talk.
Wonder Woman.
Let him talk. People want to hear him more than
Yeah.
they want to hear us.
Yeah, the first Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
the best one. That's my
Yeah.
favorite one.
And I did Wonder Woman
That
And I
first
did the
Wonder Woman's
Avengers.
First
great.
one's good.
and
Yeah.
the Avengers.
84 was like,
And the Avengers. I did that as well.
I am wearing my Captain America shirt.
There you go. I'm not doing that. I only have as a bra.
Because we were coming here. I'm like, this is like
I don't
comic
want
book geek
Ming's-
land. I haven't been geeked out on comic books in decades.
Well, you can bug Ming after, I guess, if he has the time.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, I was out in
always
the
time.
lobby the other
Always
day, and I met this guy from Marvel Comics, and he was in the theater, and I said to
Yes,
Joe,
the guy that
that's him. And then he goes, I got to go to the bathroom. I go, yeah, he's going to the bathroom on top of grabbing this guy. I know it.
Well, that's what happened because as he was leaving, he was doing the new Spider-Man animation, Amazing Spider-Man, Steve Ditko kind of animation, which I haven't seen in years.
Right.
So I was all psyched. And she's like, are you kidding me? Like, what is that?
Well, since we do classic cinema, I guess 25 years from now, I will be 95. So if we're still doing the show, I think I'm going to have to review these things. Right?
Should review him now.
You're asking for it.
Well,
Buster.
Captain America, just segue, since we do probably have a comic book fan base out
I'm
there
sure
that's
we do.
watching because we're
Especially
in Ming's
Ming,
place.
Of course. I'm not
Captain
denigrating.
America
I'm sure they're wonderful.
was actually 1944. They had 15 episodes,
Forever.
and then they totally desecrated the storyline of Captain America. Captain America was a DA trying to like capture a villain,
Right.
not Steve Rogers. But and then came back in '79. Do you remember? I think that when Captain America, that's when I remember seeing it. It was a made-for-TV movie, and he was wearing a helmet, a motorcycle helmet with his wings on it, and that was his costume. That was kind of a part of his mask.
Yeah, and his shield was clear
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So
What the
yeah,
hell's going
So you
on?
can see his costume. That's why. Yeah.
But it's funny as hell because it took like action parts. Like remember the Bionic Man, Bionic Woman, $6 million man.
Oh, yeah.
When the jump scenes were actually backwards. They jumped down and they just rewound around the film to make it look like they jumped high.
Yeah.
They were doing the same thing. Those kind of like, special.
Do you want to
effects.
show our article in the paper and hold it up?
Yes.
It's very exciting.
So we're also getting out there to the press, and we appeared in several local magazines, newspapers. This one is The Coaster. Debbie used to work for them, and she
Yeah,
reached
that's
out.
where I started.
We love it. And the local source picked up our story too. So
Yeah.
we're available for
I
movie
had
reviews.
my old thing and my old youthful picture. I don't know. I threw it back in the bag. They don't
yeah.
need
The
to
headline
use it
says "New
anymore.
Take on Classic Cinema."
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great picture, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Bill did that picture for us.
Yes.
And we have, of course, stuff for our folks that are interested. You can see the QR code there. That'll take you right to the.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing because we're almost we have our year done, but our anniversary physically when we were cast together. And at first, when we were cast together, it was like, he goes, I don't know if I'm going to work out with her. I heard
'Cause she
this
was
through the
Debbie Downer.
grapevine. No, I wasn't. I just
you
didn't like
were.
that dopey movie.
No, you were like, I don't know if I have time.
Oh, because
You
it was
gonna
so
do
far away. It was
this?
Patterson. And then,
Patterson's quick
and
for
then him, and then we gelled, and then
Because we did Princess Bride. She hated it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then
And
the producers
then-
were like, oh, you guys are great.
You guys are
"You
great
sticking me with the
together."
old one? Are you kidding me? I want to be with the young one.
Can you imagine? That's how denigrating me. I'm old. I'll take anybody on because
What?
I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer.
You're a farmer. She
I'm
loves
a farmer.
horses.
I love horses. When you've been have horses your whole life, you tough, But so yeah, what we need we need people to subscribe because as YouTube monetizes or gets bigger, You have to subscribe and hit the little bell that you get notified of our shows.
Yeah.
The thing is, we started filming in Patterson, which was a phenomenal place, and the Art Factory, and it had all these old bones from the 19th century, just gorgeous.
So the owners absconded with the money.
They took all the money. They must have put it in an offshore account. They seized the building. So now we are looking for a home, although we still film, but we're looking for a legitimate studio to go to. The producers are. So please subscribe,
comment,
and it's
like.
free. Everybody's watching Ming stuff. They know they're hip, they're jive, they're all that kind of cool
And if
stuff.
you'd like us to appear at any of your conventions, your movie theaters, your public libraries, we don't care where.
Right.
We just care that we're, finding our community and reaching out to our community. And if you're a cinephile, if you love classics, or you just want to learn more about them, you're a filmmaker and you want to oh, this is pretty cool. Watch our show, reach out to us. TheReelWatchlistPlus.com is our website, or if you want to email us, TheReelWatchlistPlus@gmail.com. Either way, or go to the Bold Media Films YouTube channel and watch the Reel Watchlist Plus with the plus sign.
Right. And we also post on Facebook too, if you're one of
Instagram.
our friends. Instagram.
TikTok. I do TikTok.
Also, I run the Jersey Shore Film Festival, which runs from this year, June 16th to July 6th. And we're there every day from dawn to dusk. And we have almost 200 movies that have come in so far this year. It's in the 18th year. And if anybody's a horror fan, I have the Jersey Devil Film Festival and also Krampus in December. And
Krampus sounds like a problem.
Besides that, I write
like
tons of movie
issue.
reviews and have to get them in every month. So I work for a company. So, yeah.
I'm busy doing research. Like literally when I dive sometimes too deep. And if you see some of the episodes, I have notes like crazy. Actually, this is a calm version. And, when I do these deep dives, I somehow trip over like interesting stuff. Like, I don't know if you aware of this. Aware of this. Can I talk? I can talk.
I'll help you.
Okay, thank you. March of the Wooden Soldiers. Remember that episode?
Here we go. Don't go crazy.
I'm not going to go crazy. Do you know one of the three little pigs actually later on in life appeared in porn? You didn't know that.
Interesting porn.
And Ming's like, why
Midget
are you talking
porn.
about that?
Midget porn.
Changes everything.
Yeah, I know.
It freaked her out.
And I said, which pig is it so I can look at him differently? He goes, I don't know.
He's got a mask on.
Now but we just said the straw, the brick, which pig, in what house?
So we get serious, but we're also seriously funny.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
We like to be that way.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anything else?
So I don't know. I can talk forever, but I don't even know
but we only paid for an hour.
Yes.
Almost there. But we want to thank Ming too. We're going to review you.
Ming is great. I've known Ming for a while. I used to do an old time radio show, and Ming was the best. He really can take, ribbons of horribleness from the old, really people all talking, video call-ins, and he can turn it a sow's ear into a silk purse.
Wow.
He knows how to do that. He's excellent. He really
He's
is.
blushing. Look at that.
No, but he is. And now he's like all over the map. He can't even get the guy. He's in Tulsa. He's
doing his thing.
In Las Vegas. He's in Hawaii. He's eating this sub that I want to eat. He's, hugging
Doing
some
comedy.
movie star. He's really, it's great that he took the time to do this in the studio. We love it. And let
him talk.
We are in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Yeah, you guys are great. You guys have a new subscriber. I just subscribed to the Reel Watchlist.
Yay! One more.
On Bold Media, and I suggest you guys do too. Check them out on YouTube for sure. A lot of great episodes.
And we want to review you now.
Yeah, we want to review you.
We're going to review you.
Okay.
We scale on a 1 to 10.
Okay, 10 is the best.
Yeah.
1 is not so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are we going to have a fight over this one?
I don't know.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, flip.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank
Give
you.
him a 10.
If my mom could see me. Now I'll send this to her. I'm going to send this to her.
10 with a bullet. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Thank you
That's
guys.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you.
Huge honor. I'm a 10 from the Reel Watchlist Plus.
Yes.
From Debbie and Joe.
It'd be
That's
good if I put
huge.
it straight up. That would be brilliant on my part.
It would be.
So, are we finished?
I don't know. We got like 6 minutes.
We have 6 minutes?
Well, what?
can still talk. I can go on forever.
Is there a movie that you haven't done yet that is at the top of each of your lists?
Well, I'd love to do Jaws. I'd love to do Ben-Hur. I'd love to do film noir. We haven't done film noir yet. I have 2 kind of obscure film noir pictures, but they're just so great. I'd love to do them.
I would love to do Saturday Night Fever.
I'd
because
do that.
It was not only because of the film and what it meant for that era, but the music. I mean, it was one of the first times that a soundtrack actually made it big. I mean, not only big money, but the awards that were won from that.
I mean, made the Bee Gees a household
name.
And
I'm I grew up playing the drums, so I used to DJ too. Used to scratch. So hearing that,
what
the music,
haven't you done?
I don't.
That's why we get along.
Maybe that's it because we do everything.
I was in the circus for 2 years.
I know, and you did some other things too.
I was a showgirl.
You were a showgirl.
I worked in Europe. I worked in Miami. Yeah, trained horses. Wrote film criticism. Was a chef. I've done it all.
So maybe
we'll have you.
But I want to do 80s movies.
Okay.
I know we kind of differ.
I'm all right. I can't be as hard-headed as I am.
No, because, Pretty in Pink.
Just give me a couple of shots of my apple cider Tennessee whiskey that I found at Total Wine this Christmas, and I'll be fine.
Breakfast Club.
I'll even do Can't Stop the Music.
You would? We got to invite Felipe. Felipe, if you're out there, we want you as a special
about
guest.
Felipe.
I love Felipe.
He still looks good, too. He looks real good. It's all muscly. Yeah, stop it. Take it easy.
I'm taking it easy.
This is the thing. We have crushes on people he never likes who I like, so it works out pretty well.
Works out perfectly.
Yes.
Controversy is good. Butting heads is good.
Yeah, we do. It's fun. But it's fun because we're not mean. Even Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert did not like each other.
They didn't.
No.
But it worked.
It did.
It worked for many years. It worked.
It did.
It's still working. They're dead.
Yeah, I don't
working.
understand how somebody's doing Roger Ebert reviews when he's been dead for 10 years. I don't get that. But, and that's the bad thing. I mean, the last really good written critic was Owen Gleiberman. I don't know if he's still doing Entertainment Weekly, but I just think I miss the print of critics. There's so many people on YouTube. I listened to a review this morning on Caligula that we're going to be doing. The guy was so inaccurate with what he was talking about. And it just drives me crazy. The remake of Ben-Hur just had me screaming, the new remake.
What about Turner Classic Movies?
What about it?
Our favorite, not favorite reviewer.
Well, I love Dave Karger. Oh, Ben Mankiewicz.
Ben
Mankiewicz. I don't want to say it.
I saw a review with him.
He's the
Mario
least.
Cantone.
I love Mario. He's a legacy
Ben.
from his family. But Dave Karger's great. The other one, the film noir guy, is fantastic. They're great people. They paid their dues. That's our dream, to run the Turner Classic Movie Cruise.
Maybe we could be on streaming. Any streaming people out there? We'd love to be on streaming. I think our show needs to be on a streaming service.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're hitting people, and the thing with a long-term YouTube show would be a core audience that wants to tune in every week, not the kids that want to watch, a frog get hit through a window and then somebody laughing and kissing a monkey.
Although we've done a couple of short reels with dance routines.
Well, they've done very, very well, but are they watching the show? That's the point. Are they going to listen to us talk about, Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine in The Apartment?
Oh, I love The Apartment. She did not
like it. But, film is subjective. And so it doesn't matter whose opinion is. It's your opinion. I remember when Rex Reed said Jaws stunk and he didn't like it. And I was like, oh. And here's another thing. You know what made the megaplexes get built?
No.
Jaws. Jaws was responsible for the megaplexes. Before Jaws, no big movie theaters. After Jaws, they built them all.
Didn't know
the first blockbuster. Yeah.
That's why we need to do Jaws.
In a heartbeat. That'll be a whole show for 4 hours. I'll go on about that. So, you love it too?
I do. Oh, Jaws, yeah, one of the best movies ever.
Ever made. Yes. Completely, 100%.
Yeah. So, I know you guys love dressing up in costume.
Yes.
Checked out some of the clips. You guys are always in costume. Would you review a movie just based on so you could dress up in a costume?
No, because they're hard to get
doing that.
Well, I love it too, but they're hard to get together, especially if it's a movie like we're doing North by Northwest, which is a real interesting costume coming up by me.
Yeah.
But I mean, when it's all suits or, like Glengarry Glen Ross, if you did that, everybody's in a suit.
Well, when the producer said the Mad, Mad, Mad World, I immediately went to Ethel Merman.
Well,
immediately.
You hope we also do a Judy Garland and Ursula Andress and whatever.
Well, I mean, we've done LGBT movies for Pride Month. Those were fun.
Yeah, we did 4 of them.
We did Adventures of Priscilla.
Queen of the Desert.
Yep. And I dressed up for that.
And I have a lot of boyfriends in all the movies too. I have, and now they're all old now, but I'm always faithful. I don't care. They get all.
So yes, I would do a movie just for the costume. Review a movie. Debbie would do it because it's more serious. But again, I'm
but it's fun.
the Lou Costello of this group.
And I don't know. I'd love people to give some feedback on that if they do watch us, because there is controversy. Should we stay with the costumes or should we let them go? And I think that makes us special.
Should I go?
I think that makes us special because there's so many critics out there that are just boring as all hell.
God.
And behind them, they have a glass of Coke on their bookshelf. And it's just like real low rent to me. I don't know. I like the costumes.
Stay tuned, folks. You got to watch season 2 to see if the costumes will stay or if the costumes
we're
will
getting
go.
a little bit of heat about it. But
okay, we're going to take the heat.
I vote for stay, but that's
Yay, man! Yay! Yeah, stay. You've seen some of the costumes. We're really
great. They're great.
We're over the top.
Yeah, we're nuts.
Wait till you see North by Northwest.
Can't wait.
Wait till you see my costume. It's so crazy.
Well, Deb, where are we going next?
Oh, Joe, I know we're in Red Bank right now with Ming, which is a pleasure and a half, but we never know where we're going until we go there.